Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. So, today I wanted to have a discussion on whether or not RWBY should have filler volumes, and what benefits or problems filler volumes could actually bring to RWBY if filler volumes actually do tend to occur. So, I really wanted to go into that. So, sit back, relax, I hope you all enjoy, and let's go ahead and get started. Filler is something that happens occasionally in shows. This is to put extra content into the show's run length, or this will be so that the writers, like when it comes to anime for example, if the manga is being adapted, then the anime has to take time for the manga to continue to stay ahead so they can continue to adapt the material from the manga. And when it comes to RWBY, for example, RWBY has the potential to have filler volumes if they chose to do so. And some fans like some filler and some fans don't really like filler. Filler is a mixed bag because sometimes filler can be done well, but then again there are also those times to when filler is not really that great and it just feels like it's slow and it just goes on. It feels more like a chore to watch rather than it is fun or interesting. Then again, some filler can actually do very well, and it can even build on to the lore of the show that the filler is occurring in. And when it comes to RWBY, RWBY may have filler eventually. And the only reason why I really throw that out there is so that it can have longevity to RWBY, but at the same time, it could do things for the series that maybe just one volume alone, whenever it comes to the canon material, would not be able to do or provide that maybe the filler for RWBY would be able to do. So, if you were to think about filler, for example, filler could introduce new villains. Filler could introduce new plot lines. It could even tie up loose ends to questions that haven't been answered or haven't been thoroughly answered within RWBY's world in itself. And that would be something that could be interesting that they could try to do throughout filler. But on the other hand, one problem with filler is it can create more plot holes, and RWBY has enough retcons and inconsistencies as it is. So if they were to write a filler arc, they would really have to beware of how they've written things in the past and hope that it makes sense. And whatever they were to write after the filler arc, the thing is they would have to make sure that if it's ever brought up again or anything that came out of that arc, it would have to be consistent with what happened then as well. So it's really kind of a problem if the filler isn't written well, but it can be written very well if the writers try to stay consistent and if they try to stay within the lines of what they've already written within the series so far, and as well as in the future after the arc. And I've got a few interesting ideas that I think could work as filler arcs that could also be canon, give more lore to some of the things within the world of RWBY itself, and even answer some questions that either A, have been brought up in the past, or B, even have new questions come out of the filler arcs. That would be very interesting. So, first off, this was a suggestion by some of you, which would be the Grimm becoming more sentient, which I think would be an interesting idea. So some of you have talked to me about this, and some of you thought that sentient Grimm would be great because the Grimm, over time, they develop more intelligence the older they become. And so if they were to become sentient, as they became very, very old, they could become more human-like. And I think that would be a very interesting idea, for example, and who knows, maybe Morlo could get involved in that. And that would actually be really cool if there was something like that to go on. Another idea could be, since we've seen Penny before. Now, Penny is an android, and she actually had aura. So, here's an interesting idea. There could be more androids in the future, and instead of them being good, they could actually be antagonists. They could be villains to the series. They could have their own ideas of maybe trying to rule over humanity because they think they are the inferior beings, maybe. And it would sound kind of funny if androids did come into it, because if you think about it, it would be like Skynet and Terminator. That would be kind of hilarious, but at the same time, there could be a really interesting arc that could be developed out of that, and where the androids could have come from could actually have been from Atlas. So after Atlas is all done and over with Volume 7, and if they go into Volume 8, because who knows how long they'll be in Atlas, but if they do it after Atlas, I think that would make sense, and it would also show more skeletons in Atlas's closet, because that means that they had experimentations that could have gone wrong, maybe even cyborg humans. I mean, we've seen how Ironwood himself is part machine, so since we know he's a cyborg, that would be interesting to see maybe some humans that, instead of using aura, try to actually use cybernetics as a way to fight, and they actually could be against the Hunter program, and they could be villains. That would be interesting as well. And they could try to change the world and revolutionize it to where humans rely more upon cybernetics rather than humans relying upon aura. I think that would be pretty interesting. And another idea could be the return of Bonesaw, or the White Fang Lieutenant. Now, that would be cool, considering he is confirmed to still be alive. So, what he could do is he could create a new faction of the White Fang, maybe call it the Red Fang or the Blood Fang. That'd be kind of interesting. And what he could do is he could gather other Faunus that still agree with Sienna Khan's beliefs, because maybe he believes in her beliefs, or maybe he believes in Adam's beliefs as well, or maybe he has his own ideology of the situation, and he could lead these Faunus that still believe in the old ways of the White Fang, and he could try to create a new era of the White Fang. And so what he could also do is he could go after the Shnees, because if you think about it, Faunus discrimination is known by the Schnee Dust Company, and so that could target Weiss, and then that would be something that he could do is chase after Weiss and try to take her down to make an example of her and what he would do to the Schnee family. Now, it would be interesting if they kind of did that beforehand, but seeing as to where it could be, I mean, maybe it could be after Atlas and the whole issue that happens with it in Volume 7, but I think that that would be a really cool idea to implement a character from previous volumes back and do something like that, for example, and all this could take place before they even reach Vacuo. And maybe this could even answer questions that need to be answered during the filler, maybe some minor ones at least, but also, hopefully this could help the writers be able to plan for the future of the story of RWBY. Hopefully it'll give them time to make drafts, revise them, and polish them to the best that they can, and maybe tell better stories when it comes to RWBY. And maybe the series can improve overall from this, but we'll just have to see what direction they go if they choose to do this. But anyways, let me know what you think down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did enjoy, hit the video with a like, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, share this video with your friends if you found this informative or useful, and follow me on Discord. Link is in the description down below. But anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today, and remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow could always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you, and have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.